Guys, I'm about to give birth. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm pregnant.
What happened, baby?
I don't know.
But then we came to the hospital. This is probably like, I don't know, an hour ever since it happened. We come to the hospital. I mean, this hospital was like, I'm so thankful for it. And it is probably one of the best hospitals here. But I'm like, this is my comparison to the hospitals in America, you know? They take her through the front where everyone's sitting like this, you know, like she's wearing a dress. She's just like, it was just bad. And I just remember being so frustrated with the whole system. And we get into our emergency room trauma area, and like I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this, you know? Like it looked like a joke compared to all our places in America, all the hospitals. And I was just reminded, like, you have no control. You, in this moment right here, you have no control. Whether someone made a bad decision, whatever happened, she's got hit by a truck, you couldn't control. And I remember like me and Ina had this moment where like we looked at each other and we knew everything's gonna be okay, and we just bawled our face out and we just laughed and we smiled and we're like, this is happening for us. We're so thankful. And this was like an hour after everything happened, and Ina's like, I'm so thankful this happened. I'm so thankful this happened. And she kept on telling me that, and she's like, life is such a gift. I see it so differently now. Like I have such a different perspective. I'm so thankful for it. I was like, whoa, like that was like an hour after it happened, you know? Like she should be excruciating pain. And I remember calling my parents, her parents, and just telling them what happened, asking them to pray, asking them to just like pray that everything goes well, there's no bleeding in the head, that like everything's fine with her spine and her bones and all of this stuff and internal bleeding. And just like hearing them bawling and hearing them crying, and you know, and then I was like, I have to go, and all these things. And I remember coming to Ina and again having like probably some of the best moments that we ever shared together, to where it was like we just looked at each other and cried, and we're so happy to be alive. We're so happy that like to still have each other. And I don't know, like it was honestly the best moments that we've ever had together. And yeah, but afterwards we went and we just prayed together and all these things. And I think after that, they told me I have to get registered and pay before anything happens. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like my wife could be bleeding out right now and you're making me go register. I go register, there's a line of people. And again, I was just reminded, like, no one can help Ina right now. Like either she was protected and someone's watching over her and she's gonna be alive, or she's not. And it was just a hard reality, because like, I don't know, like I like to feel like I have control. I like to feel like I can save my wife, I can make this happen, but like I didn't, you know? And it was like this bittersweet moment, and I knew it was like either gonna be like a miracle or not, and it's gonna suck. Anyway, so get registered. We go, like they do a CT of her head just to make sure that she's not bleeding. That's the fastest thing you could do. And then they x-ray her whole spine and back and all of that. And like she comes back into the room, and you know, all the adrenaline is coming off and she's having a lot of pain. And again, we just kept on saying, like, you're gonna be fine, like nothing's broken, I'm okay. And she kept on telling me that. She's like, I'm healed, like everything's fine, everything's normal, everything's whole, like I feel it. She's like, I feel the same, I know that everything's okay. And I was like, I know. And I still had my doubts, but like I believed it. I truly believed that everything was okay, you know. And yeah, I remember her starting to have a lot of excruciating pain. And then I think we like prayed together and she like fell asleep. And I remember just like, I mean, kid you not, like there's no nurses in the room, like nothing. Like I'm checking her vital signs, I'm checking her blood pressure. Like her blood pressure was low, like, but everything was like, looked good. But I'm the one sitting there checking everything, and I'm like, what is this place? And yeah, like I remember she fell asleep, and I just didn't want to leave the room, because I was like, if something happens, like no one's here. And so I just watched her and I prayed over her, and I just like believed, you know, and just sat there and just contemplated my whole life, everything that's ever happened. And in the moment, like nothing else mattered, you know, and I realized some stupid ambitions and stuff, things that like don't matter that I've been chasing. And but anyways, like, and I remember her waking up and being like, I'm healed. Like, I'm healed. Like, I have no pain in my body right now. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know. Like, I just felt something go through me and like, I feel whole. And we just had a crazy moment, because we're like, how are you okay? Like, we both saw like how much she flew, what she got hit by, like, how are you okay? And she felt like she was okay. And a couple hours later, you know, the doctor comes in and he's like, come here, and he takes me to the computer and he starts showing me, and I'm like, tell me, first of all, like, why are you calling me? Why don't you tell us that she's okay? And he calls us over, and then he starts showing me like her head CT, he starts showing me all her x-rays and all of this, and we look through everything and everything looks good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, thank you, God, like, this is a miracle. Like, it's crazy, it's insane. And you know, at this point she's still breathing and doing all the, like, her vital signs are fine.
Guys, I'm about to give birth. It doesn't look like it, but I'm pregnant.
What happened, baby?
I don't know.
And I don't know how, but like, I didn't break any bones. Everything looked fine. The only thing that was a little bit concerning was I had wounds on my bum, which I'm not gonna show you guys, but they were like really open and oozing and stuff. So that wasn't really fun, because like I wasn't able to lay or sit, but I wasn't able to stand either. And they were really painful. But other than me being really sore and like my body absorbing all that energy, all that impact from the car, none of my bones were broken. Like, I felt fine mentally too. So we spent a couple more hours at the hospital. I did undergo quite a bit of pain. I'd be lying if I said I didn't, but I was just like so focused on how thankful I was that I could stand, I could move. I didn't have any broken arms, legs, like no broken bones, nothing like that. My skull got a little bit of a hit. It was kind of bleeding at one point. It was a little bit sore, I had kind of a headache, but they checked that out too. It was nothing too concerning. So yeah, we stayed there for a couple more hours and then they let us go. And yeah, that night I was still a little bit like terrified, you know, like falling asleep. I was like, am I gonna wake up? And like thoughts like that are really, until you experience something like that with your own life, you really don't know what it feels like to fall asleep and be like, is this gonna be the last time that I'm gonna be on earth? So that was kind of scary. I feel like it's because mentally, like, I was still kind of like shaken up, but I did make it through the night. We woke up, and even though this whole thing was so scary and it was so like I didn't know if I was gonna live or die, the following week, the next couple of days were honestly the happiest days of my life. Even though I was still in so much pain, I saw life for what it truly was. I didn't take anything for granted, because mentally I was like, okay, like I could die still, you know, because we didn't really know, like, even though they took scans and MRIs, like they're like a century behind other hospitals in the US. So I don't know, like I had a little bit of fear, I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, I'm not gonna let that take over me. This happened for me. Like, if anything, this is an excuse to live like the happiest days of my life. And I truly did. And I focused on every little thing. Like, I was so present, I was so in the moment, and I was so happy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was literally like the happiest days of my life, and I was still in so much pain. So I don't know, like that was so huge for me to think about. And then as we were kind of like processing what had happened, Igor and I were talking a lot about how, first of all, we take all the beautiful things that life itself has to offer for granted all the time, and we're always so focused on the past or the future that we're not in the present, and that's what really takes away our joy. And we we were just kind of like, wow, like I can't believe how happy we are after this whole entire thing happened. And so our mindset just changed completely, and like still to this day I obviously have already had negative thoughts, like and I've already had kind of like not bad days, but just like bad moments where I was a little bit more negative than positive. But I feel like after that accident, like I've never been more positive, I've never been more happy in my life, I've never been more thankful, like truly thankful.
Like we talk about it as it's a blessing. Like there's no negative thoughts with it. Like it happened for us, and it changed us, and it made us realize how to be present in every moment with each other and everyone and everything, and how thankful we are for life, and you would think we'd live in more fear, but I feel like me and her just became more reckless. Like we're just like, if that didn't kill you, what will? Like let's not waste our life living for things that don't matter. Let's not waste our life living for money and fame and all these things. Like let's not be distracted. Let's just be present in every single moment. Every single day is an opportunity for us to love the people around us, to love each other, and to, you know, get closer to purpose and God, and you know, and just thinking about things that matter and not arguing about stupid things, and just truly enjoying every single day, and you know, living with more purpose and destiny than we ever have been. Like I think that's where we walked away, is like, let's not waste time. Life is so short. Life is such a gift, and it's so short, and it can be over like this, and you never know when your life's over. And so we're like, let's even live more purposeful than we ever have, and let's not waste time doing things that we know aren't, deep down inside, are a waste of time, and they're not for us. And yeah, so this is our story, and so much that we learned, and one of the worst and best days of my life.
And yeah, I just remember, like, when your life flashes before your eyes, all the things that truly matter flash before your eyes, and the things that truly mattered were like family time. Like I miss my family so much. I'm so excited to see them and actually spend time with them. Like all these things, keep in mind, we took for granted because we were so focused on like trying to create like something amazing and something that we're passionate about, which isn't bad, but we were just so focused on it that we took our families for granted, we took each other for granted, we took our bodies for granted, we took life for granted. And yeah, I just see this whole experience as like a beautiful wake-up call and like a beautiful reminder, and I am so beyond thankful that I'm not still in a hospital room. I don't have any broken bones. I'm just so thankful, and I know that without the grace of God, without the mercy of God, His Spirit and His protection over me, I know that for a fact I would not be alive right now. It doesn't really make any sense, like the impact, the car, the everything, like the hospital, everything, like it doesn't make any sense how I don't have any broken bones. I'm walking, I'm alive. Like it doesn't really make any sense for a human mind, but I know that God works in mysterious ways, and it was only His protection that saved my life, and I'm just so thankful for that. And I wanted to share that because I don't want anybody else to have to live through such a painful moment, to have that wake-up call. I hope that this will help some people realize that, hey, that moment could happen to me at any moment in my life. I don't have to get hit by a car, but something can happen to me to where my life is in danger, and I don't want to be thinking about all the things that I took for granted. So that's kind of my side of the story. I know I was rambling a lot, but yeah.